The nuclear war is a global challenge and also an ongoing war, similar to the Cold War. No country involved in this war has yet used their weapon against each other, but there still lays a certain amount of tension between the countries involved. The United States was the first country to develop nuclear weapons and is the only country to have used them in warfare, with the separate bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki in World War II. Before and during the Cold War, it conducted over 1,000 nuclear tests and developed many long-range weapon delivery systems. Between 1940 and 1996, the US spent at least 8.75 trillion US dollars in present-day terms on nuclear weapons development, including platforms development, command and control, maintenance, waste management, and administrative costs.
Consequences of a nuclear war. Some predictions argue that a full-scale nuclear war could eventually bring out the extinction of the human race. However, such predictions have been met with criticism. Huge atomic bombs will, however, kill millions or billions. Hundreds of large cities in the US, Europe, and Russia are engulfed in massive firestorms which burn urban areas of tens or hundreds of thousands of square kilometers. 150 million tons of smoke from nuclear fires rises above cloud level into the stratosphere, where it quickly spreads around the world and forms a dense stratospheric cloud layer. The smoke will remain there for many years to block and absorb sunlight. Here are some direct consequences.
Growing seasons would be virtually eliminated for many years. Massive destruction of the ozone layer would also occur. Allow intense levels of dangerous UV light to penetrate the atmosphere and reach the surface of the Earth. Massive amounts of radioactive fallout would be generated and spread both locally and globally.
Already stressed land and marine ecosystems will collapse. Even humans living in shelters equipped with many years' worth of food, water, energy, and medical supplies would probably not survive in the hostile post-war environment. There are several NGOs, non-governmental organizations, working against nuclear weapons. One of them is ICAN, International Campaign to Abolish Nuclear Weapons. ICAN is a global campaign coalition working to mobilize people in all countries to inspire, persuade, and pressure their governments to initiate and support negotiations for a treaty banning nuclear weapons. They call on states, international organizations, civil society organizations, and other actors to acknowledge that any use of nuclear weapons would cause catastrophic humanitarian and environmental harm, acknowledge that there is a universal humanitarian imperative to ban nuclear weapons, even for states that do not possess them, and acknowledge that there are nuclear-armed states have an obligation to eliminate their nuclear weapons completely.
Russian nuclear weapons. According to the Federation of American Scientists, an organization that assesses nuclear weapon stockpiles, in 2013, Russia possessed an estimated 8.5 thousand total nuclear warheads, of which 1.8 thousand were strategically operational. The organization also claims that the US had an estimated total 7.7 thousand nuclear warheads, of which 1,950 were strategically operational. Other sources, however, say that the US has more nuclear warheads, and the actual numbers remain a subject of estimations and ongoing constant discussion, depending on their respective source. The figures are, by necessity, only estimates because the exact number of nuclear weapons in each country's possession is a closely held national secret. In addition to nuclear weapons, Russia declared an arsenal of 39,967 tons of chemical weapons in 1997, of which 57% of the total have been destroyed.